welcome to our Tech Talk. So we were talking about before the program about the new Google Pixel.
Yeah.
So it's out.
Mm.
Going to buy one?
It looks very good. I mean, it has bezels and everything. Not the like. It doesn't look like the future, but they are in a different path. It seems.
Correct. So so this screen thing, everyone wants to have this bezel-less screen, right?
Yeah.
I mean that I can understand, but in terms of this edge screen, I'm not a fan.
Mhm.
So I've been using this phone for some time, and
Right.
like, I mean, to me it doesn't make much sense, right? To have that
No.
it goes beyond the edge.
Yeah.
So I can understand if it
It's-
goes to the edge.
It's just for the look, right?
Correct. So this looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, it looks
Yeah.
amazing.
But
right?
practical use.
Practicality, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put it on the table, the upside down,
Mhm.
I mean, this has this edge lighting thingy, right?
Yeah.
Apart from that, I don't see any reason to have it. So I think Google, what they have done is fine, right?
Mhm.
But it's not the Pixel 2, not the XL.
Yeah.
It's not even a 4K screen.
Yeah.
So not a dual lens camera either.
Yeah. They're doing things differently.
Correct.
So
No, not
it
not really. Thing.
No, I mean it feels like they want to do more things with machine learning.
So they're basically
with-
trying to do things that the regular consumer wants, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, one thing they did was they removed the headphone jack.
It was inevitable, right? Everyone is going to do it.
Correct. So there's nothing much you can do.
Yeah.
So the headphone jack is out,
Mhm.
no headphone jack. So now there's two competitors without the headphone jack.
Yeah.
And there was one argument I had with one of my friends, right? So
Yeah.
on Twitter he was just replying to me saying when the headphone jack was out,
Yeah.
he was just saying now no one is complaining about the fact that Google removed the headphone jack, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Apple removed this jack?
Yeah.
Everyone was really upset about it. They were
And
furious. They were tweeting about it. They were
Yeah.
like,
Android fans were like mocking Apple.
correct. So, but in this case, no one mocked Google, right?
Yeah.
But Google was actually mocking Apple during the show,
Yeah. With
as something else.
dongles and everything.
But what the difference between Apple doing this and Google doing is people don't have to buy a Pixel, right?
Mhm.
So if you are an Android fan, let's
Yeah.
say I want to buy one, I don't have to buy the Pixel. So I have choices, so I can get
Yeah.
like a a Samsung or a OnePlus.
Yeah.
So there are other competitors out there,
Yeah.
right? But when Apple do something, you're stuck with it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think a lot of this forcefulness comes in, right?
Mhm.
The people tend to get upset about it because
Yeah.
they have no choice.
Yeah. But Pixel 2 is the Android phone. No
Correct.
doubt about it. I mean,
Correct.
the camera looks great.
Yeah.
Even it's a single camera.
So a lot of people were upset about it being a single lens, right?
Yeah.
But Google said no, it doesn't have to be dual lens.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
They're
to be
doing
dual.
all the magic with software and
Correct.
their optical, I mean, stabilization and everything, right?
So and then even they have the object recognition, right?
Yeah.
So basically that means it can recognize posters where you are.
Mhm.
Kind of creepy because in the camera it start recognizing
Yeah.
objects and doing this. But Google has been doing this image recognition for a very long time, right?
Correct. Yeah.
For example, if you have been using Google Photos,
Mhm.
it actually recognizes faces. It groups you into,
Yeah.
like it automatically knows. Let's say.
And in search, you can search for like anything, right? I
Correct.
mean,
So
you
birthday
can
party.
search for a baby picture, so birthday party
Correct.
or trip,
Yes.
whatever. So they will like automatically search
Correct.
everything for you.
So the only thing is, if you are buying a Pixel for the screen, it's not going to be the greatest. It's just an HD screen.
Mhm.
But if you compare it with the new iPhone, it's the same, right?
Yeah.
But if you're buying the XL, you're getting a Quad HD,
Right.
4K basically screen.
Yeah.
So that's, but if you're buying,
So between these two models, Carling, the only difference is the screen, is it?
correct, by the looks of it,
Yeah.
it's the same camera.
Yeah.
Processor almost the same.
Yeah.
So it's 4 GB RAM. It's not like amazing, right? In terms of spec, I mean, when you look at it, it's just a 4 GB
Yeah.
RAM camera and a 12 megapixel camera as well on
Yeah.
the back. So it's a 8 megapixel secondary front camera. So it's not like they have put a lot of hardware into this, right? It's just octa-core 2.3 running, and then it's just a Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset. It's just what everyone else is having. But in terms of what they have done from the software point of view is what's amazing, right?
Mhm.
So they kept that camera at an amazing level where the photograph, the detail, the
Yeah.
color accuracy is quite good.
What I hear is even I mean dark time photos, nighttime photos looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean they take like every time you take photo, they take like around 10 pictures
correct.
and they do the software magic and
Correct.
make it look better.
So I mean, we have been talking about this a lot, Tilina. I mean, when we say we have been talking about a lot. We have been talking about this. Nowadays, it's not hardware, right?
Yeah.
It's more about software than anything else, because hardware comes I mean, to a certain extent where you really don't need to go through this high processor power.
Yeah.
Things like that. People always used to go, when this Pentium processor used to come out,
Yeah.
they always say whether the Pentium 4 is coming out, 5 is coming. I remember back in the day
Yeah.
this has been happening. But now, Tilina, it's hardware is evolved so much, you don't need to improve as much,
Yeah.
right?
Even the megapixel numbers, it doesn't mean anything, right?
Correct. So megapixel is a tricky thing, right?
Yeah.
So you can have the sensor. If it's a small sensor, let's say it's the size of my let's say the smaller finger,
Yeah.
like not the finger itself, but just say, let's say half of it, the fingernail. It can have 12 megapixels, right?
Okay.
So let's say another sensor is size of my thumb's fingernail
Yeah.
and has 12 megapixel, right? So according to the basic logic, the bigger the sensor, doesn't matter what the pixel count is, gonna have a better, brighter image
Yeah.
than the smaller sensor. The basic idea behind it is it captures more light.
Mhm.
So that gives more accurate images,
Yeah.
sharper images, right?
Yeah, in the sensor they have in Google, this new Pixel 2.
Yeah.
What they're doing is at nighttime photos. Normally, what other people are doing is keeping the shutter
Correct.
open for a long time, right?
Correct.
So to get more light.
Yeah.
But in the Google phone, they're doing it very fast. I mean,
Correct.
they don't keep it open for a long time, but they are improving it with the software.
Correct.
So they are very confident about their
Yeah.
software.
So in terms of the differentiation between the XL and the Pixel, the Pixel 2 and the XL.
Yeah.
So the screen size is 5 inches on the Pixel 2. The XL has a 6-inch screen.
Yeah.
In terms of resolution, the HD's resolution on the Pixel 2, that's 1080 by 1920. That's a standard HD resolution. And then if you go into the Pixel XL, that's 1440 by 2880. That basically means quad HD, right?
Yeah.
So, but it both has Gorilla Glass. The differentiator between the biggest differentiator, I think the Pixel 2 comes with AMOLED screen.
Yeah.
But the Pixel XL 2 comes with a POLED screen. So that's going to have much better colors than
Right.
AMOLED. But I'm not sure how well it look like during the sun, right? Let's say you're using it outdoors.
Yeah.
That I don't know, because no one has properly tested this out, right? So that's the only issue. So it's anyway Oreo Android 8, so they're bound to get it. It's the same processor.
And also Pixel 1, we didn't see many units, right?
Correct.
So there were very few.
Yes.
So what they were very open about it, and
Correct.
what they said was they are going to make more Pixel 2 units. So
Correct.
hopefully we'll see more units.
Yeah. So we'll take a small break and see you after this. Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about the new Google Pixel, right?
Yeah.
During this conversation, oddly today, one of my friends was talking about buying Oppo phone, right? And then he was referring to OnePlus as well, right?
Yeah.
So I said, he said, no, OnePlus does a better job than Oppo and all that.
Yeah.
Right? So I said, look, a lot of people don't know this, and even even the biggest, like in terms of the confidentiality and information wise, the biggest shareholder for OnePlus is Oppo,
Yeah.
right?
And I think they are doing Vivo phone also.
Correct. So, but the problem is this hasn't been publicly announced, right? So what they say is, no, Oppo has funded us,
Yeah.
But that's the only funding that OnePlus had. No one else has funded it, right?
As far as I can remember, it's a company called BKK.
Correct. It's a Chinese company,
company.
and this company has been incorporated in China.
Yeah.
So the people.
And some models, they share designs in some models as well. right?
Correct. So just a note that a lot of people don't know this, so
Yeah.
I thought might as well share it. In terms of now, we heard right now this headphone jack is out, so I'm sure that others going to follow it. I don't know why, but they will.
Yeah.
And I have a sneaky feeling that Samsung will keep on having it.
Just
so
to keep that market.
now the thing is, Google came up with these headsets, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing about this is those actually translate in real time.
Yeah. Crazy headphones.
Correct. So basically that means I can go to any country and speak to someone,
Yeah.
provided he has the same headset, in my own native language, and he would get that translated into whatever the language he was. So basically it has to support by Google first
Yeah.
in terms of the language conversions, right? Voice recognition wise, Tilina, does Sinhala supports by Google? I mean, we know that if you type it, it will translate it.
Yeah. I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
sure,
So, but even if you speak,
it should, right?
it should, right? On the phone it works,
Yeah.
right? So if you speak in Sinhala, it types in Sinhala.
Yeah.
So if you can type in Sinhala, that means basically it can convert it into English
Yeah.
or other languages,
Yeah.
right? But the sad thing about these translators, Attila, these are not accurate.
Mhm.
I mean, you've seen the Chinese product. If you've seen a cheap Chinese product with the English manual on it,
Yeah.
I'll be amazed if you can understand them, right? So
Yeah.
basically that means all Chinese people, how they do it is they use the Google Translator to translate these things, right? They don't even check.
Yeah. Sometimes we get crazy replies from even eBay
Correct.
sellers.
So, so this is going into that. I remember in Star Trek they have this.
Yeah.
So you wear it and it just
Yeah.
converts into.
Even in the demo, they were doing Spanish and English. They messed up a bit in one
Correct.
sentence. So.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we are moving into that. So if you're planning to travel somewhere now, it's might as well buy one, right?
Yeah.
But I have actually used Google Translator when I was traveling just to get certain things translated, right?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes menu cards.
so it's quite easy. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know this. So if you have Google Translator on your phone, if you have a camera in it, so if you like point it to any, let's say any lettering in other language, right? Let's say in Chinese,
Yeah.
it will translate that into English or any other language you prefer in real time.
Yeah.
So that helps, right? So let's say you are in a foreign country looking to catch a bus. If you want to read the board, you want to read the schedule.
Yeah.
These things works amazingly.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is when you're traveling, if you want, you can download the translator pack and go offline as well.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to have internet connection.
Yeah.
So that's good thing. And the storage. So everyone need more storage now, right?
Mhm.
So basically, why do we need so much storage till? It's video, right?
Yeah.
So that's the basic problem, right? We have
And also the quality gets better and better. We
Now
have
4K is out,
and
right?
8K.
yeah. So now the good thing is Seagate has come up with a 12 terabyte hard drive,
Okay.
but it's not cheap. It's $540. How much is that? 70,000 rupees.
Yeah, more than that, I guess.
But it's good, right? Now, I remember I had only 10 megabytes on my hard drive when I first had the computers, right?
Yeah.
10 megabytes. It's like how many floppies? People don't even know floppies anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So the storage wise, that's amount of storage now we can get, right? But the problem is now people are moving into this more laptops and SSDs.
Yeah.
Again, storage is a problem, right?
Yeah. So SSDs, they're not very big, right?
Correct.
So
I mean,
you install
you
the
can
OS
get 1
and few
terabyte.
apps and it fills up.
Correct. You can get it at 1 terabyte,
Yeah,
right? But
but
you
it's
have to
not-
buy another. It's the same cost
Crazy
as another
expensive.
laptop.
Yeah.
But somehow Apple chuck this into their Macs, right? So 512, 1
Yeah.
terabyte.
Yeah. So what they were doing earlier was they had a separate SSD for OS and separate disk.
So they have the hybrid, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically a single drive that half of it is an SSD, not even half. It's like
Yeah.
less amount, and then the rest of it is just a standard spinning drive.
Yeah.
But how it works is the operating system is smart enough to understand what you would frequently access, what you would normally don't access all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So it learns while you're using the computer, and it moves files around, right? So it put the frequently accessed file into the SSD part of the drive and move the less frequent access, let's say your movies, stuff like that, into the spinning drive. And they also move this kind of, like, let's say MP3 movies. They know that these don't need a fast access, so they what they do is they move that. But what we need fast access is your applications, your operating system, stuff like that. So they move that into SSD.
Yeah. Even like things like games, you don't need like fast access.
Correct. So but sad thing about if you have this and if you're using this on Windows still, this doesn't work.
Right.
So hybrid drives for Windows are yet to see giving any good improvements, right?
You just have to figure out what to do. Right?
Correct. But if you're having a Windows laptop, I think if you don't have an SSD, go for one. And there are ways to have two drives, right? So you can have an SSD plus another drive. So you have to sometimes sacrifice your CD-ROM.
Yeah.
So you can replace the CD-ROM slot with a hard drive.
Yeah. So a few years ago, using SSD was like very technical, right?
Correct.
Now OS and everything has improved at a point like you don't have to worry about it.
Correct. So if you have Windows 7 and above, it's fine.
Yeah.
Provided you put all your updates. I mean, it's not like because the biggest fear people had when SSD came along was, will it die?
Yeah.
How long will it survive? So we have now come to a point that we understand that they do last sometimes more than a hard drive, right? Because hard drive has so many moving parts that can fail on you.
Yeah.
So SSDs don't. So that's that, right? So I mean, lesser moving part mean more reliability, right?
Yeah.
So that's out there. The other sad news. I mean, in Sri Lanka, do we use AOL Messenger?
Not in a very long time, right?
Correct. So AOL Messenger is shutting down after 20 years. I mean, instant messengers have, I think, been killed anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, what people use is WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I ran a poll, right?
Okay.
So it's well, I'll give you the results. So I asked what they would use for instant. Forget about video calls. Forget about the rest of the things.
Just message.
Just messaging. If you want to use something, I sadly had to remove iMessenger because it's not multi-platform, right? So when I say multi-platform, you can't have it on 2-3 different devices, right? But if you have WhatsApp, Viber, other things, you can actually Facebook Messenger, you can have it on. So basically 81% of people says WhatsApp.
Okay.
7% says Viber, 2% says Skype, 10% says Facebook Messenger. Okay. So I think, I mean, I was right. So WhatsApp is simple.
Yeah.
Doesn't have much. And then, I mean, that's what we want, right? It should work. It should be simple.
Yeah.
It works out of the box. So let's take another small break and see you after this. Welcome back. So the hot topic and the one that I really like, going to space.
Yeah. So in this recent conference, Elon Musk was revealing their plans about a new transport system.
Correct.
So this is about interplanetary transport.
So it's not like going to
Space,
so it's not the Hyperloop.
Yeah.
It's Hyperloop to another planet.
Yeah. And so this is not like deploying a satellite to the space, right?
Correct.
So you just leave the Earth and go to another planet.
Correct.
Or at least moon. So what they are doing is they are making a new type of rocket.
Correct.
So it is codenamed BFR.
Correct.
So you will get the reference if you have played like Doom, BFG. So same thing. So what they are doing is they are making a huge rocket.
Correct.
And the ultimate plan is to go to Mars.
Yes.
So what they are planning is like they are going to move the rocket to the space and refill it in the space and go to Mars.
So they're going to have a platform outside the atmosphere Because now we all know that it takes lot of fuel just to get out of the ground, right?
Yeah.
So where it
Because of the gravity and everything.
correct. So once you move out of the gravity field, the Earth's gravity field,
Yeah.
it doesn't use much.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy, right?
Mhm.
So what the biggest problem is putting so much fuel into a rocket,
Yeah.
and even the that fuel itself is a weight, right?
Yeah.
So so the space launch, the biggest
They need
cost
like
is
tons of liters of fuel.
correct. So it's like a chicken and egg thing, right?
Yeah.
You can have so much fuel,
Yeah.
but it weighs so much,
Yeah.
and again you need so much of a bigger rocket
Yeah.
to get that fuel out, and to run that bigger rocket you need so much fuel.
Yeah.
So that's
So what they're doing is like they're sending a one
yeah.
and deattach the fuel thing
Correct.
and send another one with 2 fuel tanks. So
Correct.
one is saved and one is used to
Correct.
go it upstairs. So they then put those two together and move the fuel.
So basically we now even have this International Space Station, right? So
Yeah.
it's already there, it's outside, it's
Yeah.
been run by China,
Yeah.
US.
So this new rocket you can even plug it to International Space Station. So next to International Space Station it looks huge. I mean they
Correct.
showed a picture and International Space Station versus the new rocket.
Yeah.
The size is amazing. So the ultimate plan is to go to Mars obviously.
Correct.
So to do that you need like to get back to Earth from Mars obviously you need to make fuel.
Do
at
we
Mars.
have to?
So that's the future, right? So,
So,
we
I mean,
need to
like,
be like interplanetary by
Find people like me who would love to go to Mars and stay there.
Yeah. So
Provided you would feed me.
what Elon is saying is you can even make a base in moon with this. So
Correct.
for a weekend you can go to moon and feel the low gravity.
Yeah.
So-
So I think now I mean we talk about going to Mars, but the moon is so close to us, right?
Yeah.
So how many times we been to moon?
Few times. So with
I mean
all the
actual people, right?
Yeah. So with the economic crisis and governments focusing to other
Yeah.
things, so
and this is
has
like very
died
long
down.
time ago, right?
Yeah. So everyone like kind of wants to like do something in moon right now, but no one is funding it.
Correct.
So let's see in the future if NASA wants it. Now we have a way to do it. I mean,
Correct. So it's-
SpaceX is providing a platform where you can go to moon safely. So
Yeah, so it's not about going there and what you're going to do there, because it's research wise it's understandable, right?
Yeah.
So but SpaceX is a company who's looking into economical terms of things,
Yeah.
right? So in terms for them, I don't think it make much sense.
Yeah.
But as a like a launch platform, I think it might
Yeah,
do
it
well
should
because
do it,
the
yeah.
gravity is lesser than the
Yeah.
Earth, but still, I don't know. I mean, like
Yeah.
I can't do the math to
Yeah.
that extent, but
yeah.
I-
So Elon's plan is to like send this rocket to Mars in like 2022,
Correct.
which is in like 5 years. So I think it's not very practical. So let's see. It's a very like ambitious plan, but
you know,
I don't
it
think
might
they
happen,
can.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the way the technology evolved. I mean, I was talking to one of my friends, and he recently got a internet connection, and it's a fiber connection, and it was running around like 90 megabits a second, right? The download speed, and he was
Yeah.
like saying, "Hey, I got this," and I was like referring to him and jokingly said to him, "Remember, we used to browse the internet at the 24 kbps a second, right?
Yeah.
And then we move into the CDMA, which we got 115 kilobytes a second,
Yeah.
and it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like now,
Mhm.
it's been less than I think 10 years.
Yeah. So Elon is what he's saying is like, if you go to like out of the space, why can't you do inside Earth? So
Right.
you can use this to like move from a place from Earth to
Yeah. So we
Another
can go
place,
to
right?
Mars and then so on and so forth.
yeah.
right?
And also Kalinga, if you can use this to like go from New York to China with this.
Yes.
It
Hopefully
only
we are
takes
not
like, yeah.
sending our politicians there.
So within Earth, it only takes like 30 minutes to go from New York to China.
Correct.
So that's there also. So,
So if
let's see
Elon
how
Musk
it,
really want to, they can send all our politicians there and send the rocket back. So that's all the time we have for today. So if you have any comments, questions, how you can do is just visit our TV Facebook page, drop us a message, and search us on YouTube for our Tech Talk, and you can find the episodes.
yeah.
So have a great week.